How's my hair, boys?
Brad Spy, my man.
Yes, thank you.
Been wanting to do this interview for a long time.
Yeah, man.
You know, you're one of the first guys that came down here and kind of got everything started. Helped me get a lot of this started. You have an awesome story, and I guarantee I'm going to learn some stuff about you today that I didn't know about you. And we've been hanging out for like 3 years now. We met at a party, and then 2 years later, ever since then, you know, doing the Caliber arm wrestling. But I wanted to get this information about you out there to all these other people. Just some basic stuff, some fun stuff.
Well, it's funny, real quick. I'll say like how awesome it was to hear like somebody else is doing arm wrestling like, here at OLPH, like at a venue, right? So it's blowing my mind. And then somebody else I worked with was like, I saw an arm wrestling table on somebody's trailer. Right? It's like, no way. I was like, what kind? If it wasn't a black F-250, when somebody else has got an arm wrestling table in the area, for a while it was only Mike West and myself. That's it. So now I heard like, oh my gosh, Greg Brown's getting this set up. I'm like, Greg Brown, I know Greg Brown. We met at the party. He was the Jack dude walking around at this picnic with this tank top. And I'm like, he's freaking Jack.
That's what I thought about you. I was like, this guy's Jack. Like, hey, I'm going to talk to him. He's probably pretty cool. And sure enough, friends ever since.
I know, it's awesome.
Well, let's tell the folks a little bit about yourself, like just your height, your weight, and your age.
Yeah, dude. I think on a good day I'm about 5'6.5". I'll round that up to like 5'7", 5'8", depending on who I'm talking about.
It's 6 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot, right? And then 145 right now. I've been as heavy as like 152 because I haven't taken a dump in a while. But you know, on a good, you know, just about 145. I can cut to 38. You do it all. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm just not that big. 38.
You had to think
38, dude.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you look 28, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You ain't lying. All right, where are you from?
Alright, so let's see, we're in Romney, and then about 2 towns down, you've got Fort Knox. And it takes 10 minutes to get here, and it just blows my mind that you got this thing going.
So are you, now this is kind of a stupid question for me because I already know, but are you pro or are you new?
Yeah, so pro.
You've been pro how long?
I don't, so long that I don't think there were amateurs back then.
My man. Well, what got you into arm wrestling?
So I grew up around it, and I was lucky enough to have Dad, Mike West, Terry West, Greg Pumphrey, and they would just set up an arm wrestling table in the living room, you know, in my dad's trailer, right, or wherever they could put it. I remember the arm wrestling table getting taken to weddings, graduation parties, and it was like everywhere we went, you know, Dad pulled up the arm wrestling table, so I'm arm wrestling kids. I remember I could beat my uncle when I was like 13 or something, 14 maybe. Yeah.
They're accepted like at every party. Every time I bring my arm wrestling table, everyone freaks out. And I'm like, I wonder what the reception's going to be like. Are they going to hate it or nothing? But usually there's 20, 30 people around.
They love it. Yep, they love it. Yeah. So now I'm trying to bring it to like their parties and you know, or whatever sports.
I get winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Smash a kid real quick.
Speaking of that, yeah, of course. Do you remember your first tournament match?
Maybe, yeah, it could have been at this like Georgetown festival. Of course, Dad brings the arm wrestling table and matches up. You know, hey, you know, I don't know how they advertise it, but it's like, hey, if you're in this park, come over here and arm wrestle, right? Okay, how much you weigh? All right. So I just remember having the fastest match of the day or something. It was one of the awards. I was like, I think I was, let's just say third or fourth. So, and now I'm 38, so I was 8, and now I'm 38, so 30
years ago.
Yeah, so that's a lot of injuries and a lot of pains, but also a lot of good times.
You know,
I've seen
friends. Yeah, I've seen a lot with your sons too. They're doing the fastest things, and they're doing it too, man.
Yeah, Ethan and Samuel, and now Ruby too, is like just showing her athletic prowess, which is cool. But yeah, Ethan and Samuel get up on the table just like I did when I was their age, man. They don't want to get down.
They're not
get off the
scared.
table, come on, I want to get up there.
Yep, absolutely. They're not scared at all. So are you left-handed or right-handed?
So I guess I started out right, and then I learned, oh, you can win money left hand too, so let's get good left.
Boom, let's go, right? Okay. What do you want to accomplish with arm wrestling? Is it the money, is it rankings, is it just have fun, be a trophy whore?
Trophy whore, yeah, I'd have to get back in the amateurs to do that, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, not all. Yeah,
No, I know.
Some pros get some trophies and flags.
You know, I guess where I kind of want to go with it now is just to stay healthy and compete, because I think competition is great for everyone and it gives you something to train for, your mental, physical, spiritual. You're taking all those things into account as you're focusing on a tournament.
Yep.
Because normally you probably wouldn't like do that. You know, even just a good thing. Like I remember, like, man, I got a competition coming up. I see a piece of trash. I need to pick it up because that's the right thing to do.
Right.
And it just makes you a better person because you're focusing on like, oh, if I tell this white lie or something, then I might, you know, I may be paying for it later. How am I gonna pay for it? I'm gonna lose to this guy or something. So it just makes you a better person if you kind of believe that. Yeah, and I know it's not, whatever. But
No, I agree.
I won't go too deep into it.
No, I get it. I get what you smell what you're stepping in. Yeah, picking up what you're putting down. So when you have a setup on the table, what do you prefer? The top roll, the hook, or the press?
Yeah, so a lot of load and just like almost like already feel it going inside. If I feel it going inside, I'm like, all right, cool. And if you beat me inside, then awesome, you got me.
Yeah.
But if I feel like, oh, you took my hand, I'm like, man, let's go in the hook.
Yes, in the same way.
You know,
hitting my fingers.
That's just where the muscles go, man. You're locked in, and you see who's the man.
Now there's a lot of arm wrestlers out there. Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
All right, so I remember growing up, and of course John Brzezinski, he'd be at these tournaments, these national tournaments. He'd be like, this tournament, right? Because I remember him talking about John Brzezinski. I mean, he's still like the GOAT, right? He was the GOAT back then, 30 years ago. And then also Cobra Rhodes was too cool. He was in my corner a few times. Yeah, Indiana boy, right? And then I remember Ron Back, who's 60. He's in his 60s, maybe
Still
under
jacked.
Still, his back is like this. So it was like who I looked up to as a kid, just like a giant of a man, and just also smile, good job, hey little buddy,
All right.
yeah, and I just love those guys in the sports that are nice to the youth because that's what we want to do, right?
Well, yeah, and arm wrestling isn't such a, like Hollywood makes it out to be some kind of crazy sport. Like all of us are really nice.
What you call it, brotherhood.
We'll bust you up on the tail, but afterwards
We're hugging.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not even a big deal. It's like, well, how did I? Could you show me what I need to do to actually beat you? And you're like, yeah, you just need to do it this way or whatever. So I feel what you're saying. All right. How often do you train? I mean, you got to train like all the time.
So it depends who I'm around. Right? Like, oh, the guys that are coming over to work out, they're training for something, let's get on the table and bang. But I'll be honest, I haven't really been on it too much because I'm focusing on that next generation of mine.
Yes.
With cross country, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, gymnastics.
Right.
And you're probably going to see me sitting in a stand watching practice instead of arm wrestling on the table. But I still love coming.
That's right. You still see you all the time.
I love it.
All right, man. Well, we got a lot of tournaments coming up, and you've been up to a lot of tournaments. Do you have a favorite one that you've been to?
Man, I think, Kentucky Muscle's awesome because there's so much going on. I think it's still called Kentucky Muscle.
No, not anymore.
It's something else.
Yeah, it's something else.
Okay. Well, they had bodybuilding and even jiu-jitsu. So I remember kind of back in my prime, I'd say like late 20s, I got into jiu-jitsu tournament and I won that. And then I won 143s, 154s, left and right. And then I won the overall left. And Doug Allen tells me this, but I beat Dave Chafee in the
yeah.
You can confer it.
Yes.
I think there's a video. But and then Dave Chafee got good. So
right.
I feel like I got a lot of wins on these guys, and then they get good. I'm like, I can't do it.
Brad, really nice talking to you. And I think I've learned a little bit also.
Yeah.
About you.
You talk to me here.
Thanks for doing this interview with me, man.
Appreciate you, guys. Appreciate it.
Let's go arm wrestle.
All right.